So the first question they tackle is these transfers that show that insiders were removing large amounts of crypto, and this is what they say about it.
I know a question that is on a lot of people's minds and that we've gotten a lot of questions about, Scott and Tom, go to the transfers that were listed on the recently filed schedules and statements. Scott, why don't I hand that to you to give a perspective about how we're looking at those. And in particular, I know a lot of people are asking, why aren't there lots of lawsuits being filed immediately? And why aren't there more lawsuits being filed? Why don't I hand that to you to take that?
Pertaining to the transfers, the preference claims to the insiders, a lot of those same facts are also relevant for other preference and transfer claims as well. If we approach this in a piecemeal approach, then we may kind of tip our hand a bit and weaken any future litigation attempts. In addition to the cost will be more if we don't do this all at once.
So Scott Duffy says that we know what's happening and we're seeing these transfers, and they are going to try to batch them all into one time period to save money, and also, as he says, not to tip their hand so they know what's coming, so maybe they can prepare legally in a way that they don't want them to do so.
And maybe just to build on that, I think from the advisor's perspective, we're very aware of how expensive this process is. So and how important it is to get recoveries out sooner than later. So, what we're really trying to do here is shorten the process and reduce the costs and get you the most value at the end. And like Scott said, that we're now, how we feel about that is that we do all of the different claims and lawsuits that we're investigating, pursue those all at once at the end of the bankruptcy versus now, so that there isn't, many different trials going on, lots of people running around, billing the estate. And we have, most importantly, the best chance to get the highest recovery for you.
So what they're talking about, again, is insider clawbacks and pursuing these transfers made before the petition date by insiders. They want to do that all at the same time. And this actually goes along with what Simon Dixon says as well, meaning we want to get out of Chapter 11 as quickly as possible, and we don't need to settle all of these issues regarding clawbacks and preference claims and all of that stuff while we're still paying lawyers hundreds of millions of dollars in Chapter 11.
I mean, we saw those schedules and transfers the same as everyone else. So please know that we are aware of these amounts. And just because you're not seeing these actions one at a time doesn't mean that they aren't potentially coming.
So the UCC is saying the same thing. They said, yes, we know, we see it, we are going to pursue it. This is going to be something that will be done, but we want to essentially get out of Chapter 11 quickly so we can get as much money back to you, the creditors, as possible. And then we will batch all of these lawsuits and all of these actions at once to limit the time, to limit the money it takes, and to not drain more money out of the bankruptcy estate.